السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
نعم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وبعد, as we can see, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah for everyone to join, and now I think we have a few audience, and we anticipate to have more. And I think Ahmad has been trying to join, so we can all start our program. Inshallah, soon he join, we are going to start our program. Inshallah, I've been trying to communicate with him through WhatsApp and see what the issue, but it's available already. So, um, نعم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you, Sheikh Ahmad. You can hear us now? Or...
Okay, yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Good.
Okay. So should we start or?
Okay, I think Sabrina and are you all ready? I think, or you have some other friend you want to send me an invitation, because I've seen the number is very low now as we anticipate. I don't know if there's some you want to send some reminder to others to join. Give us some few seconds or few minutes, and then we can start. Or you ready? We can start.
Yeah, we sent messages into the group chats.
I think so. We're going to end up spending more time, and I know some of you. I don't know if you have some exam and all of that kind of stuff. So you might as well go ahead and start. First of all, I would like to thank Allah to give us the opportunity to be in this time, being together, and not for any other reason except just to get to learn the word of Allah, to learn about our deen. So, and I will also would thank Sheikh Ahmed for most of you. Maybe I don't know who he is. He's in UK now, and I think Sister Sabrina and Brother Walid, you both had the chance to meet yeah, Sheikh Ahmed when he was one of the chair who came for our conference, yearly conference in Arizona. He spent some time with us for all that time he was in Arizona, and he gave a lecture to our conference. And this is the best opportunity for us to spend more time with him and to be engaged and take advantage of this time and benefit from him, take the benefit of what he has learned and what he wants to come and share with us today, inshallah. As we saw on announcement, he was talking the subject of today. We're going to talk about this LGBTQ, which is it become to our attention. Like it's a big thing now. Like I don't know what, especially in your school and all particular in any region now. Even it goes around the world, even in Africa. So we would like for us to talk, to be engaged on this topic, see what we can benefit, what we can learn from it, inshallah, and hopefully it will be beneficial to us, inshallah. After Ahmad, inshallah, I'll give you the mic so you can, inshallah, give us a lecture, inshallah. Fadal.
No. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي أتم بنعمته تتم الصالحات. ثم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، كرمنا بخير كتاب أنزل وفضلنا بخير نبي أرسل وأتم علينا بأعظم دين شرع. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأتباعه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking his blessing and salutation to be sent to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his household, I'm so proud to be invited by Halaqah to meet with you, the youth, mashallah. Inshallah, I will spend a few minutes with you in this topic, in this important topic, in this hot topic, particularly to you as the youth, because the whole focus for this particular system is not your parent, is mainly to you guys. So inshallah, a few minutes together, I just want to make sure that shouldn't be a formal lecture, okay? Let's make it interactive lecture. So I want you to participate along with me in order to benefit all of us, inshallah, okay? So I will be asking questions and then you can reply. And then while I'm talking, please stop me if you have any question, okay? You can ask me, inshallah, okay? So regardless whether the participants are very few, but what is important is for us to benefit, from the topic, inshallah, okay? To start with, let me just remind you something. We, as your parent, the only legacy, the most important legacy that we can leave to our children is what? Anyone can tell me? What is the most important treasure or the most important legacy that your parent can leave to you? Yes, Rahma? Oh, is it Rauf? Yeah, tell me.
Is it like your deen?
Your deen, mashallah. Anyone else? Another answer? What is the most important legacy or treasure that a parent can leave to you? Anyone? Akbar, Rahma, Abdurrahman? Come on, guys. What's
Your religion?
Yeah?
Your religion?
Your religion, mashallah. That is the most important. It's not the houses, it's not the cars, nothing. All these will perish. But your religion, meaning your value, your religious values, you will go along. So this is the most important things that your parent will leave to you. And this also should be the legacy of you. Tomorrow you will be parent, you will leave to your children. Hence, and this is how we became Muslim, because our parent were Muslim and a great parent are Muslims. So this is how generation after generation people become Muslims, okay? So this is the most important treasure that we can receive from our parents. That's number one. Let me give you a quick story first. In the UK, I don't know, most of you are in the US, in schools here in the UK, students, they have what they call once or twice per year. They normally primary school and secondary school, they do students wear uniforms, okay? So once or twice per year, they have one day they dedicated as non-uniform day. Non-uniform day. It's a day in which they actually allow students to go to school without wearing uniform. So they allow students to wear their traditional uniform or dresses, okay? The cultural or traditional. So recently, in one occasion, I think it was a few weeks ago, one of my sons went to school, and then they decided, him and his friend, they decided to wear differently. So on that day, you will see like English people, they will dress like, jeans or t-shirt or skirts, for girl, because this is their tradition. You will see like Indian students or Pakistani students, they will wear their abaya or sari, those kind of dresses, particular to their tradition. And my son and his friend, they decided to wear, the kanzu, the Islamic dress, the Islamic dress, and then they put kofia, some heart, the Muslim heart, okay, something like that. And then some of the students, they ask them, oh, what is this? This is Muslims. And then they reply, yes, this is Muslim dress. Oh, really? And then they said, yes, this is our value. This is our culture. So some other people, they're surprised. They say, no, this is Muslim. Say, yes, because Muslim, this is our value. This is our culture. So basically what they emphasize that this is their dress. This is their cultural, this is their tradition, okay? So it was quite important for them to express that dress as their identity and their culture, okay? So why I'm mentioning this is to show that what is important for you as a human being is to stick to your values, to stick to your identity, stick to your culture. And nothing is degrading human being than living your own culture and then adopt some other people's culture. This is shameful. It makes you like a slave because you're not proud of your own your own identity and culture. So we, as your parents, we migrated from Africa to the West, Europe and America. We came with our own culture, with our own identity, with our own values, okay? Then in the West, we found out they have totally other, their own values. And you will agree with me that European systems or countries or governments, they will never come to your door and knock to your door and say, hey, we don't want you to dress like this. We don't want you to pray. We don't want you to fast Ramadan. We don't want you to celebrate Eid. They don't. Yeah, they will never do that because these are your culture. These are your values. The only thing they want is what? Is for you to respect their values. And then you can continue with your own value, but do respect their own values. Okay. So that is something that we need to start. That's why I want to start this topic by this particular point, that the legacy from your parent is your deed, your religion. And religion for us Muslim is our identity, is our values, moral values, all including our religion, okay? Then when we come here, the system, the European or American system, they will never tell you, oh, don't dress this, don't eat like this, don't that, no. All they ask for you is what? Respect their values, that's all, okay? So most of you, probably you were born in the US, okay? So you actually find they have their own values. And then if you define the values, if you look at the values or moral values or ethics from the West, these are changeable across time, What was value like 100 years ago is no value anymore. What was values like 50 years ago is no values anymore. Every time is changing. If you go back to the history, what we call history of dress code in Europe or America, 100 years ago, the way women dressed, they used to dress with a long dress, and some of them even scarf or hat, okay? Because that was the value at that time, the time what we call the Victorian era. But later on, after 50 years ago, they dressed differently because the value was different. Well, no hat, no scarf anymore, but they could put some hat, but there's only long skirts. But later on, after 50 years ago, 50 years after, like in 2000, things are certain changes, they change. So until now, you can see the dressing code nowadays is totally different from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, or even 200 years ago. So you can see the values in the US, the moral values or ethic is progressive, changing every time, okay? So this is in terms of fashion or dressing code. But if you go back to the religion, it is the same thing. If you go to the history of Europe, back 100 years ago, or ever, or even before in 17th century, before 17th century, the whole Europe and America, it was all about what? It was about Christianity. So Christianity was the main religion, and it was governing peoples along with the, the kings, the monarchy. But after that, especially with the Industrial Revolution, okay, people starting to reject religion, okay. They didn't need any more churches with what we call a Renaissance period. Is anybody who is in secondary school, in the late secondary school here? Anyone who's in late secondary school? High school?
Yeah, I'm in high school.
You're in high
Yeah,
school.
I'm in high
Do
school.
you know something called Renaissance period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it, Renaissance period?
The Renaissance period is known as the rebirth period. This is when, mainly in Europe, art and religion started taking new forms. So
Okay.
people started, they looked at religion, but they didn't really believe in it the way they should.
Good.
So like they started coming up with different theories because they thought that
Thank you.
you shouldn't believe everything that your religious book said. So you
Yep.
should go out there and experiment and come
Good.
up.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much.
Good.
That's the thing. So you can see even the moral value, the religious values in Europe, in the West and Western countries, they are progressive. It was Christianity, and then later on they start rejecting the Christianity, and they say, oh, now focus on science only, okay? And that's the Renaissance period with all the big philosophers, or yeah. So they start rejecting all those moral values and ethics, taught, by the church. So once they reject, and then you can see now what came is what? Freedom. Science brought what you call freedom, and that freedom brought with it so many values, okay? So everything was just freedom of speech, freedom of expression, okay? It means that I can dress the way I want. I can say what I can express myself the way I want. I can even have the right of, to express my own feeling. So this is the beginning of a new set of values, okay? Values of freedom. And then everything was just in the name of freedom. So ironically, what was considered 100 years ago as value is now considered as old fashioned. So that's how the West behave, everything now is considered as, old fashioned. So this is the most important characteristic of culture in the West, meaning that people across the history, they define their own values, their own moral values or ethics. And these are not fixed. They are prone to change. So according to people's desires, according to people's feeling, what people now feel, they define as their own values. 50 years later, they will also define different set of values according to their own feelings, So I want these, primarily to you guys to understand that these should be cemented in your heart, because we need to understand the West, where we live in, where you're born in, understanding the West in terms of moral values and ethics, okay? What is the West in terms of morals? Well, the West in terms of morals, everything is changed, okay? And it's defined by people according to what? To their own desires, to their own values, to their own feeling. So meaning that we live in countries in which moral values are prone to change according to people's desire and feeling. I want to behave like this. Okay, it's freedom. You are free to do that. I want to wear, to dress like this. I am free to do it. Men can want to marry another man. You are free to do it. A woman can marry another woman. You are free to do it. I was born like a male, but I want to change to become a female. You're free to do it. So all of these are a set of values defined by people based on what? According to their desires, according to their feeling, okay? So this is the West in terms of the cultures, okay? So having understood this is like we set a foundation in order to understand the West where we live in. On the other hand, we, your parents, we are Muslims, and then you are a Muslim. We have our own values, our moral values, our ethics, okay? The way we dress, the way we eat, what we should not eat, the way we need to respect the elders, we need to pray, we need to fast in Ramadan, we need to celebrate Eid. All of these is a set of values within our own culture, our Islamic cultures, okay? And these values, you will agree with me, they are unchanged. Western values are changeable, prone to change. We need these, no, now we don't want anymore. We define our own values, you know. But we in Islam, our values, our ethic values are unchanged. We cannot change. You will never see a Muslim say, oh, now we decide to change, we don't want to pray anymore, or we don't want to fast Ramadan, or we don't celebrate Eid anymore, or we want now, a group of Muslims say, hey, our values now, we want to eat pork, for instance. You will never see this in Islam because our values are unchanged. And why they are unchanged? Because they are defined by the Creator, by the one who created us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's the most important point of difference between the Western culture and the Islamic values, okay? Of course, they were Christian before, you know, they were Christians, but nowadays Christianity now is powerless. They even change the Bible, they accept everything now. But we as Muslims, we can't. Everything for us is unchanged because it is defined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? So that's the most important point to understand. The West on one side and the Muslim values on the other hand. So as Muslims, you know, we should not be compromised. Muslim is uncompromised, you know, when it comes to religious values, when it comes to moral values, when it comes to ethics, the way you need to dress, the way you need to eat, what you need to eat, what you need to eat, the way you need to respect the people, you need to pray, to do this. All of these for Muslims is uncompromised, okay? Because why? Hold on to your values, hold on to your Muslim values or Islamic values and moral values. This is the best treasures, you know? These are the best treasure. As you said, the most important legacy for your parent to leave is what? Your religion. By religion, we mean the way you need to, the way of life, your values, your moral values and ethics. So hold on to our religion as a Muslim. It's something that most important, we cannot change, okay? So if we understand this, it means we actually cement the foundation on which we need to build our knowledge or understanding of this important topic called LGBT or LGBTQ or LGBTQ plus, whatever you can call it, okay? Yeah, and hence we said in Islam, when you live in the West or in a country where you find different culture or different values, you need to do what? Respect their values and they should respect your values. And then we have this in Islam, in Surah, in one of the verses in Surah Al-Kafirun. Do you know, anyone can read? Do you know Surah Al-Kafirun? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Anyone knows that surah by heart? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Anyone knows that surah? It's a very short surah. You go to Madras, isn't it, you guys? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ. You remember that? Anyone can try to read it, please? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ. No one? Oh, come on. Don't tell me that you don't know this surah.
Okay.
Okay, try. Okay, good. Try.
Could you put Bob's letter over here?
Better?
They say everyone knows that surah.
Everyone knows. Okay, if everyone knows, can you tell me the last verse, the last part of the surah? What it says, the last part.
Can I read it?
Yes, please.
Lakum dinukum.
MashaAllah. Read it again. Read it again. Is it Rahma was reading? Alaikum.
Lakum dinukum waliyadin.
Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Thank you so much. Anyone can volunteer? What's the meaning of lakum dinukum waliyadin? Anyone can volunteer? I wish I could prepare some prize here and then you give to you guys, you know?
My religion is my religion and your religion is your religion.
Thank you. MashaAllah. Eh? My religion is my religion. Your religion is your religion. In other words, the meaning is what? You have your own way of life and I have my own way of life. You have your moral values. I have my moral values. You have your ethics and I have my ethics. Respect my values and I respect your values. This is the foundation of understanding anything. Tomorrow you're going to live in different countries where they have different values. Go with that principle. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your deen, I have my deen. You have your religion, I have my religion. You have your way of life, I have my way of life. This is so important for us. This is the basic, fundamental principle. In order when you deal with values, you know, with different values, something which is different from your own values, okay? So that's the most important first point to understand before we tackle this subject of LGBT, okay? So before we move on, anyone can comment here or ask any question regarding this? So far, it's just only foundation first to set the ground in order to understand this particular topic, okay? And the ground is we have our own values, they have their own values, okay? They should respect our values, we should respect their values. I have to hold on to my values as they hold on to their values. Though their values are changeable, my values are fixed because are defined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran and in the teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the most important, the main difference, okay? Anyone can comment anything or ask any question so that we can move on? Okay, it's fine. So now let's tackle these subjects as it was said here, the confronting the LGBT ideology. I love the title, you know, Shasad, I think I love this title, the way you actually, you know, express it. Confronting the LGBT ideology. Yes, it is the ideology, okay? Because back then, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it wasn't an ideology. No, it was just individuals of that particular type, you know, everyone can do it privately. But with time, as we mentioned before, Western values are always progressive and change. From individual activities or, you know, seen, you know, but now it become open. And then from becoming open, now it becomes a system. It becomes ideology now, okay? So confronting does not mean that we have to go and face them and opposing and whatever, fighting with them. No, the word confronting should be understood in a positive way, that facing, you know, to confront is face to face with something which you oppose, but in a nice way, in a positive way. How you can confront this, how you can face this situation, how can you challenge these, you know, in the face of public or yourself? How should you behave? Because now it is an ideology. As I mentioned before, Western values are always progressive. This LGBT, it did not start like just, it started as individuals, then it became as a movement, now it's become the whole system. And it was LGBT, only 4 letters, LGBT, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual, okay, or transgender. But after time, they added, it became LGBTQ, okay? You know the word Q? The Q, okay? And then now, it's not LGBTQ anymore, it's LGBTIQ. So they add in another one, I, which is intersex, and then Q, which is cure. Even after that, it becomes now LGBTQ, IQ plus. I think you hear, you always see the word plus or the sign plus. So now is LGBTIQ plus. Subhanallah. So what's the meaning of this? So it's a movement of people. Every time they define, they add. Okay. Another chunk of people, they come to this, they say our own desires to do this. So at the L, they say, okay, we are lesbians. So this is what we are. We are gay. We are bisexual. We are transgender. And we are I, which is the intersect, or Q, which is cure. And the plus, it means any other denomination in the future. So in the future, if there will be another group of people, they will come and say, hey, our desire is to live with our own cat or to marry our own dogs. So that will be another group on top of that. If in the future, another plus can come and say, yeah, okay, now we define our desire will be to do like this. So it's plus, plus, plus. As I mentioned, their value is always progressive, depending on their own desire, on culture, on feeling, subhanAllah. So it started now as like that. Now it becomes a movement. It becomes a more political, with political power, with influence, financial power, subhanAllah. It started as a movement like 50 years ago. You know, if you go back to the history, go to Google, you see when it started in New York, you know, and then even now here in England as well. It started 50 years ago as a movement. Progressively, now it becomes all European countries or American countries, Western countries, okay? And then every single year they do celebrate. They celebrate what they call the Rainbow Pride. They celebrate their movement, what they need to achieve, what they have achieved. Now, after 50 years, they now plan another 50 years to see where they are now, where they will see this society in the next 50 years, subhanAllah. So we, as a parent, we have to understand, you as a youth, you need also to understand where you live in. What is this? And then how can you identify yourself of confronting these and challenge this movement? Because nowadays, it's now an agenda. And the agenda is targeting to children, is to teach this movement in schools. In the UK, I don't know whether in America, you will tell me, in the UK, it started a few years ago as a subject to be taught, as an optional subject to be taught in schools. And it was only secondary school to tell, students. And parents, they had the right to withdraw their children from those subjects. But after years, it becomes now, since last year, the subject become compulsory to be taught, not only in the secondary school, but even in primary school. Imagine that. So the target is what? To teach children as young as 6 years old. And then here in schools in the UK, there are two subjects. One called relationship education, RE, and another one which is RSE, relationship and sex education. So RE, which is relationship education, it's compulsory to be taught in primary school, and RSE is compulsory to be taught in secondary school. And parent, we don't have right to withdraw our children. So they will teach the children. SubhanAllah, I have the curriculum here, how it is taught in schools in the UK. Okay, so we as a parent now, and you as youth, we all know, and the ground, the fundamental principles that we have our own values. So anyone that brings new values or values that contradict our own values, what should we say? What should we do? And this is a question that I can throw to you first before we can comment on it. If you face a value which is different from your own value, which contradict your own values, your own Islamic values or moral values, what should you do? Abdurrahman, Akbar?
Don't participate in it.
Pardon?
Don't participate in it.
You will participate in it?
Don't.
You don't participate, okay, that's good, right? Another one, any other? If you face a value which contradict your own values, what should you do?
Stay away from it.
Stay?
Stay away from it.
Okay. Now, that's a very good point, but the aim of this movement is not only you can stay away, but they want to teach you as young as 6 years old child to tell you it is okay if you feel that you have some feeling you are a male, okay, you're born a man, okay. But if you feel that you have some feeling, toward another man, do it. Don't worry. We can help you. We can support you. This is how they teach you in school. And sometimes they bring subjects, in a topic, discussion, and everyone can comment. Let me give you a story. It happened a month ago in the UK in one of the schools here. I do have these stories of schools because I used to be a teacher before, so I know what's going on in schools. In one of the schools, and this school is the Catholic schools, so we have some Catholic schools in the UK. In that Catholic schools, one of the in secondary school, so the teacher, they were discussing, a subject is I think was geography, something like that, or history. And then the teacher brought a topic like example of countries such as Uganda, the country Uganda. The president of Uganda declared that homosexuals are not welcome in Uganda, and then if they catch someone, it will be sentenced to death. They will kill him. And then he started asking people, what do you feel? What's your comment? And then the teacher targeted one black girl, a Nigerian girl. What's your view about this comment by the Ugandan president? And the girl replied, oh, yeah, this is their view. This is his view. And then we have to leave them. This is what they decide. They are free to decide whatever they want. Oh, and it's automatically the teacher said, oh, so you are against the gay. You are homophobic. Someone who is against gay, they say, who are homophobic. And then the teacher had to call the head teacher, say, yeah, the girl so-and-so, she's homophobic. She said that it's allowed. Then they can kill, a girl can be killed in Uganda. It was a big issue. The school decided to give that a detention, an extra hour to detain the child, to go through some sort of training and then tell her why you should not be homophobic. But they had to call the parent. Okay, so-and-so will be detained for 1 hour in school because we realized that she's a little bit homophobic. And then automatically the parent will say, why? Yeah, because she said this and this and this. So the parents had to be involved, and they said, no, we don't, because this is a Catholic school, and the value of Catholic says no to homosexuals. And then why? And then my daughter says the same thing. So it shouldn't. So it was really confrontation, and then it was highlighted to everywhere in the UK. So this is an example of in school, they can bring this subject to you, and especially they target you as a Muslim, Oh, how do you think? What about, are you okay with gays? Are you okay with lesbian? How do you do those kind of things? So you as a Muslim, you needed to have a stand, okay? You need to understand that this is their values and I have my own values, okay? Yeah. So the aim is to teach you, to instill those values into you. So what you need to do, as you mentioned in your comments, you have to oppose, you have to, be against, okay? But in a nice way. So the religion says what in that Surah Al-Kafirun, lakum dinukum waliyadin. We have our own values and you have your own values. So we should not engage into discussion and criticism, no. That's not what Islam says, okay? So this is a topic, and it's a hot topic. And now it becomes not only in schools, but also everywhere, everywhere in the media. And now the most important hot topic at the moment is what we call transgenderism. Transgenderism. What's the meaning of transgenderism? Anyone can tell? Transgenderism. This is the most important area now.
When you transition from one gender to another?
That's right, yes. Meaning what? It means Not only now they accepted the gay, the lesbian, the bisexual, whatever. Now the emphasis is what's on transgenderism, meaning that I was born a female, but I decided that no, the way Allah created me was in the wrong body. Okay, so I want to change my organ. I was born like a man, but I think I was born in the wrong body. Therefore, I need to decide, I decide to change. Okay. In all these European countries, if you are 16 years old, under 16 or 17 or whatever, if you go to a shop and then buy alcohol, what do they will tell you? They will allow you?
No.
They won't allow you, isn't it? You are under 16 or whatever, or under 18, buy alcohol, buy cigarette, they won't allow you. Okay. But now, if you are 16 years old or even under, if you go to a doctor, the hospital, say, yeah, I am this and this, I was born like this, but I think I was wrong in the wrong body and I want to change my organ. What do you think they will tell you? They will do for you?
They'll say yes.
They will say what?
Yes.
They will say yes. Thank you. They will say yes. They say to you no to buy alcohol. They say no for you to buy cigarettes. But when it comes to this, because now this is their values, their new values, because it goes with their desire, their feeling, oh, it's halal, it's allowed. They will welcome you. And if your parents, they say no to that, what will happen? If your parents, they say, no, we don't want our child to go under surgery, what will be the outcome to your parent? Someone called Iqra here. What's the Iqra? Hello, Iqra?
That's the name.
Do we do it?
That's the daughter of Brother Moji.
Oh, Maji. Okay, Iqra. Tell us, what we'll do. Are you there? She's shy. Someone called Dawood. Dawood?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay. What will come with the outcome? If your parent, you go to the doctor, you want to change this and this, and then your parents say, no, we don't want. What will be the outcome?
They're gonna
What will be the outcome to your parent? Anyone can help?
call them a homophobic.
Yes, thank you. They will be tagged as homophobic. That's number one. Number two, what else? Ikra was talking. Okay, Ikra, can you talk? It's true, Dawood. They will say, hey, you parent, you are homophobic. That's number one. But something else they will do.
They'll be seen as bad parents.
They will say that you are a bad parent. That's true. But something else also you come to a parent, to those parents.
They can file a lawsuit.
They will do what?
File a lawsuit.
Exactly, lawsuits. And that lawsuit, this is across all European and American countries, America. And that lawsuit, what will be the outcome of lawsuits? The judge will say what? I have to tell you. The outcome of this lawsuit will be what? Someone, Akbar? Is it Akbar?
He's gonna be in jail.
They go to jail. Possibly not, but the most important outcome here, they say you are homophobic, as you said, your bad parent is fine, you don't want, if not freedom, you infringe the freedom of your child, therefore we take your child and we give your child to another family. They will remove your right to care for your child and then give this child another family. And mostly will be a homosexual family. You see, this is the problem. And this is across all these Western countries. A 16 and under 18 years old boy or girl. So it means it's a very important topic, not only for us as parents to understand, but for you as well as the youth to understand. Understand the environment we live in, okay? Understand the values of the environment. Even you are taught in schools, they will tell you this. You just listen. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Go with that principle. Lakum dinukum waliyadi. You have your religion, I have my religion. You have your way of life, I have my way of life. And I don't compromise in my way of life because this for me is a treasure. Okay? So here we have on one side the role of parent, the role of mosques. Sometimes I think some of you goes to the mosque, the role of community like Halaqah, the role of madrasa as well. So all of these entities need to collaborate together in order to do that, to equip you as youth, okay, with understanding first your religious values, your religious identity, and then to equip you with tools to confront these kind of ideology. Today is this ideology, tomorrow will be another ideology and another ideology. Next time you'll be adults, your parent will not be there. So you have that foundation. So that we have to equip you with tools in order to confront these kind of ideology which are against your own values, okay? And then also to equip you with tools to resist because the movement is so difficult, and to give you tools to spread your values, your Islamic values around you. You don't spread by talking, but spread your values around you by the way you behave, by your attitude, the way you dress, the way you speak, these are the values. And this is how you can spread and convey even your Islam around you, not only by talking, I'm Islam, no, by the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you behave, that is your attitude, okay? So this is most important. Let me repeat this point. There's a role of parent, the role of the mosque, the role of madrasa, and the role of community associations such as Halaqah. To do what towards you is to equip you with understanding, to understand the values, your awareness of your identity as a Muslim, okay? And also to equip you with tools to allow you to resist and confront this kind of ideology. And also tools to allow you to spread your values around you, whether it's in school, whether in your workplace, for instance, okay? So this is, I think, is a message that we need to talk. Let me just summarize now. Let me summarize something that we can talk home together. Number one, you have to be proud of your own culture, of your own values, or your own identity, okay? So if you take other people's values, other people's identity or tradition, it means it's a shame for you because you're not proud of your own values, okay? You did not choose your parent, isn't it? No one chose a parent. It's Allah chose your mother, choose so and so to be your mother, to be your father, isn't it? And your mother, your parent, they have their own culture, the Islamic culture. It means they brought you as a Muslim. You need to continue to have to be Muslims, okay? So be proud of that. That's number one. Be proud of your value, okay? Number one. Number two, we live in societies with totally different values. Their values are changing depending on their desires and their feelings, okay? Respect their values. Don't go and confront and talk to them and shouting, you are this, you are kafir. No, Islam doesn't say that. Respect their values and they should respect your values, okay? Respect their values and you respect your values. Number three, remember the foundation. Surah Al-Kafirun. Qul ya ayyuha al-kafirun. Allah said, tell the Prophet, say, O you who are the kafir, those who deny the message of Islam. Qul ya ayyuha al-kafirun. Tell them, you have your own religion, I have my own religion. You have your own religion. La a'budu ma ta'budun. I don't worship what you worship. Meaning I don't serve what you are serving. Wala antum a'biduna ma a'bud. And you also, you don't worship what I worship. Okay? Wala ana a'bidum ma a'badtum. Not even myself, that I worship what you are worshiping. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. I have my religion and you have your religion. I have my way of life and you have your way of life. These verses, this surah was revealed to the Prophet right from the beginning when in the early Islam. Okay, but until now, it's applicable even to our times that you have your own religion, we have our own religion, we have our own values as you have your own values. Respect my values, I respect your values. That's all. But last but not the least is how to confront this ideology of LGBT plus in school and at workplace. In school, you have to listen because it's compulsory. They will tell you, oh, this, leave the teacher talk and talk and talk and talk. If they force you to comment, you can even say, I don't have any comment about this. If they continue to force you, they say, this is your value, this is your belief. I respect your view, and I have my views. And that's all. This is how you need to, your attitude should be. Don't involve, no, this is a sin, this is wherever in the Bible. No, don't confront because they trigger you to do that. So do not entertain in discussion. Do not entertain, this topic in argument because that's what they want. And they want to qualify you as a homophobic, as transphobic, as they say. So even at this in school, even at workplace, tomorrow you're going to work, don't engage into discussion. Someone bring you, hey, how do you think about homophobia? How do you think about LGBT? How do you think about this? Okay, this is their view. I have my own view. These are their values. I have on my values. And that's all. So remember, lakum dinukum waliya din. Okay? So I think this is enough for today, inshallah. If you have any question to clarify, you can ask, inshallah. I should thank you the way you participate, actively, interactively, which is very good. So is anybody want to ask anything to clarify or to ask regarding this? I know it's a very complex topic. What I wanted is just only to show you the foundation, our fundamental principle with regard to our values, and as opposed to their values, and stick to our values, and how you can confront these ideology in a peaceful way, in a wisely and peaceful way. Okay. Sheikh Salum, if you have any comment, you can add a comment, please.
I'm waiting for them to see if they have any questions so they can ask if they need some more explanation on anything.
Yeah, if you didn't understand anything, so you can ask. So if you want, if you have any other question regarding this particular topic, you are free to ask.
And this topic is more broad for everyone to participate on this topic. So you all have this topic at school, and as we can see, the Sheikh Ahmad, mashallah, he made it very clear. He gave us the pillar with what to go by. So you should have something to talk about. Just feel free to be engaged, inshallah. This will help you and help us, inshallah.
If they don't ask question, I can nominate everyone to say something about it. Let me nominate. Do I want to nominate? Let me start with alphabetically. Akbar. Who is Akbar?
Akbar, he was in the beginning and he came back.
Akbar, can you say something about this? Anyone in any question or how you understand this topic? Just in a few
how you
words.
understand it? Have you come up with something?
Yeah.
At
if you have an
school
experience of facing this in school, just please share with us. Akbar. I have someone else here. Rauf. Who is Rauf?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Tell us away. It's good to share.
I have no questions.
No question. Have you any experience about these in school?
What do you mean? Like people being like?
No, I mean, talking about this topic in schools and
No, I just see like the flags in the classroom and stuff.
So you never comment?
No.
They never even ask you, hey, what do you think about this? Because sometimes they want to steal and to trigger something from you.
No. No.
All right, inshallah. So
maybe the students, but not the teacher.
Not the teacher, students. Okay, yeah. So you now have tools to stand up, isn't it? Good, thank you. Another one, Tamim's legacy. Who's Tamim legacy here, please? Any comment?
That's Tamim's mom.
Oh, it's Tamim's mom,
Or
yes.
Tamim's
Tamim
brother.
brothers, yeah.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. MashaAllah.
I'm just a parent, but I'm so interested with the youth because I work with the youth these days, and I can say what Rauf said about seeing the flags and everything. It's not always about telling you what to do or knowing your thinking. Is that they just put something there to show that it's a normal thing, so you can just like anytime you feel that you want it, it's free for you to do so. So it's like it's kind of abusing mentally.
True.
Yeah. So you just always have to be careful when we are interacting with anything to do with LGBT communities. So that's what I can say. Yep.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because their purpose, they're targeting the children to abuse them, to attract them, to instill that it's allowed. If you feel this, if you feel, we will support you. I have the curriculum, but this I have to talk to the parent. I'm going to show you how how do they teach, particularly here in England. So how do they teach? How a teacher can teach this subject to children? Subhanallah, children under 10 years old, 6, 8, 7 years old. They taught him, gradually, through images, things like that, and then gradually like that, we have stories like a story of king and king, prince and prince, so those kind of things. The different ways, they teach this, they pass the message. So of course, it's a mental abuse to children. But what's important for us is to understand how should be our attitude, and how should we confront and oppose this kind of ideology in a nice way, in a polite way, in a wise way, in a nice way.
Another thing I wanted to add on that is that when you said about that kid who was asked, the Nigerian girl, one of my friends as well, who was I think she was in a class, and they was teaching like more than 3 hours only LGBT things. If you can be gay, if you want, and everything. But basically this well, I know you was a teacher in university, and then I used to do teaching assistant in primary school. So I never ever saw, when I was doing that, seeing in class doing one subject on 3 hours.
On 3
but
hours.
It's about they just really want it so bad for young kids these days to just like believing that you can do so. For example, like let's say Dwayne, the guy Dwayne Wade, the basketballer. He does have a young son. I think he's like 14, 13. He's saying that he believed that he's a girl. Do you understand? And he just had a massive support because they just want other kids. So they just choosing a kid who's out there, who's known, because Dwayne Wade, you know him, all of you. I believe that. He's just transgender at the moment. So how can you tell me a kid like 12 years old who just was born like a girl, just saying that, oh, I know who I am? You don't really know who you are. You're not even a teenager yet. So this is the thing that you guys need to see who you following, let's say like your role model and everything, to just see that what kind of things I want to hear as a Muslim boy or girl. Do you understand? Because we have our morals. We have to believe in that. You cannot just be a Muslim and not just follow what Islam is saying. Do you understand? We are all human. We always gonna make mistakes, but there's those things that we cannot even go. with,
Good.
because like let's say like shops in here, top shops, Zara's, they just promoting like gays. Most of those shops, it's only gays who are there, showing that, oh, it's normal, and they believe in fashion industry. There's these boys, these gays and everything, they are the one who knows fashion. Do you understand? So they give them opportunity, the massive opportunity to show you, to just make sure that you gonna be tempted and follow what we don't believe. So you have to be careful, guys.
Yes, that's very important. That's important. As I mentioned, the system, this legacy, this ideology has a strength, political strength. It's powerful politically, powerful financially, powerful intellectually, everything. So they have all the tools to make people, to drag people into believing and accepting. Subhanallah. If you read the curriculum, you'll be surprised that at educational ministry, the ministry himself, the way they define it. I have a quote here from schools, one of the inspector, general inspector of schools in the UK. He said schools have the job to prepare young people from the earliest age to go out into modern Britain and cope and meet people who are different to them. Subhanallah. So this is what they define. So they have the role to teach students at early age, like 6, 7 years old, that you now live into modern Britain, like modern American. Modern American means you will find people different from you. Someone will be gay, so accept him, accept and tolerate, don't criticize or whatever. Or you can even be with like him or like her, things like that. So it's a whole system is there to do that job. But don't worry, as long as you are with Allah, okay? Your role and the role of parent is what? Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or you have believed, Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum an-nar. Save yourself and your family, from the hellfire. That's our role as a parent, to save ourselves first and to save you as a youth, so that you can stay away. This is a nara, this is a Jahannam, this is a fire, Yeah, this is playing with the fire, So we have the role to protect ourselves and to protect you, to save ourselves and to serve you, So you don't have to follow other people's values. No, this is their value. As the mom says here, when she was assistant a few years ago, this was not compulsory. But because now their value is progressive, it's changing. Now it becomes compulsory. We don't want after 10 years or 20 years that we start now knocking in our house, in our homes, we don't know. So we have to stand up, with our values, be proud of our values, and then stay away of anything that you see contradict your own values. Okay. I think this is enough. Anyone else here can say? There's Hamisi. Who is Hamisi? Abdullah, anything to conclude?
I have something to say.
Okay, Rahma.
So I feel like they've normalized it. Like in my classroom, they have like a whole flag, and then like just the other week, they were passing around flags with all the different, like the different flags. They were passing those around, and it was so bad. Everybody had one. They were like waving them around, all of that, and they support you. Like it's just like that.
Okay, so what did you do?
Me, I just watched. I didn't do anything much. I couldn't do anything at all. I didn't get none of the flags because
That's very good. Yeah. Again, the foundation is what? The fundamental principle is lakum dinukum waliyadin. I want everyone here to memorize that surah. It's so important. It will help you whenever you face something like this. Just remember, lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your own way. You have your own values. I have my own values. We have our own values. And I'm proud to be a Muslim. I'm proud to have those values. You have your own values. Tomorrow, you're going to change your values. After 10 years, you're going to change your values. After 20 years, you're going to change your values. My values are unchanged, defined by the one who created us. Be proud of that. Memorize that. You will be, you will never be shaken. Never. Okay. So I like the way you say your attitude, the way you behave. Okay. So thank you. Abdullah, is it Abdurrahman here? Abdurrahman, anything? No. Okay. So I think Sheikh Salam, if you have any comment to comment, I think is enough for today, inshallah. Okay. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to protect our children. And this, what I call storm, this is a storm, this is a tsunami, which is coming and it's gonna knock everywhere. And it's coming to our mosques, to our communities, to our families, to our homes. What is important is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us. And whoever is sick, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect him, nothing can, shake you at all. Okay? Yeah. Now.
Jazakallah khair, Ahmad. I'd like to thank each and everyone for being here and share their thoughts and learn from what we have learned from Ahmad. He brought this to us, the awareness, for all this LGBTQ, so we can all be aware of what's around, and we all seen it at school and everywhere. As you can see, like you say, all of you have seen like all this flag. Those flags is just like the trick to trigger your brain to show you like, okay, this is okay, join. It's just like how I should say, it's something just to manipulate your brain. They trigger your brain so they can show you like, okay, come on, join, it's fine. So slowly but slowly, eventually they're gonna come to our door, who knows? But we know this is wrong, so we have to stand as Sheikh Ahmad. He gave us 4 pillars to go by. First, be proud of your own value. Be proud of your own value. You already know your value as a Muslim. Okay, respect their value and they respect your value. That's as the Quran says. That's your third. Remember the foundation, as he said, the foundation, which is the قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. It's the last ayah of Surah Al-Kafirun. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. You have your own value, you have your own deen, and I have my deen. So if you remember all these 3 things, you should be good. It should be, you should know how to carry yourself around this situation, like this in school or everywhere. Inshallah, I think we all got the whole picture. We all understood, and I'll finish by just thanks and pray God to give the most benefit to all of us for all what we have learned today, inshallah, and especially for Sheikh Ahmad. We just pray to Allah to give him all what he deserves in his earth, and for his ilm, he just gave it to us. It be beneficial for us and everyone who's going to listen to all this lecture, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, and I'll let for now we end over here. I don't know if but Abdurrahman has anything to say, or he want to conclude this session with dua or anything, inshallah. Abdurrahman, if you can hear, if you have anything, inshallah, you can express, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I thank Sheikh Ahmad Kasa. I don't know if he's still online or he left.
Yes, it's still
there. I'm still here. Yeah.
We thank you for the subject, and we thank you for the time, and we thank you for the way you explained and the way you made it clear for the youth to know their identity and to follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined for this ummah, for the parents, for the youth, and for all those who are willing to learn, to listen, to follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was very, very important and significant in the ears of all those who listened and all those who attended Kiswahili Halaqah Youth for today. And we need to have such subject to be discussed many times. If Sheikh Ahmed Kasa may have more time, this might be a very good thing to do, because like some of the youth interacted and the sister and the examples by Sheikh Ahmed from UK and everywhere else, it's clear that this is something is going to be normalized by many. And like you just mentioned, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lakum dinukum waliyadin. That's the principle. That's how we should understand our value, our religion, and where we are. It's unchangeable, like what Sheikh Ahmad mentioned. So we stick with that principle, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to protect each and every one of the parents and the youth. Most importantly, the youth who are going through this in schools and everywhere else. So this is what I can say and what I can contribute in that kind of subject, to let the youth understand this is something very dangerous. If they can try to normalize it and to take it for granted, because it's not. So I ask all the youth to be aware and to know who we are and the value that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made and defined for us as Muslims. That's the way of the life that we should live, and that's the legacy for us to pass by as parents. And for the children, the youth, they should take it and be proud of it, knowing that is from the highest power, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هذا والله ولي التوفيق والهادي إلى قصد السبيل والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيك.